someone can give you all the information in the world, but if you're not mentally prepared to do the work, if you're not mentally prepared to believe that you deserve what you desire, if you're not mentally prepared to listen and be obedient, it will not work for you. Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I am Danny, the multiple streams queen. I'm excited to have you here. I am a retired ER nurse, and I was able to retire because of my short-term rental business. And I created this channel to share my journey in this industry with you guys because it is still a journey. I actually put together a free course to help people get into the industry, right? And just give business tips, right? Not advice, not legal advice, but business tips and things, my experience with Airbnb, just starting a business and running and operating a business with my family. So I'm excited to have you here. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. Make sure you hit that notification because coming up, starting in September, every Friday, I'll be going live. So if you're around, you can get your questions answered in real time. And like I said before, I want to try to get some of my folks on live. So I'm going to figure that out so we can do that because I think that'll be fun too. But today, I want to talk about fear and mindset. Okay. Fear and mindset. I get a lot of people that ask me a lot of questions, and more than half of them are questions that come because of fear, right? And I know it's hard, right, for people to just it's easier said than done to say, oh, just do it. Because it really got to do some mindset work. You really have to do some mindset work to press forward and to get past fear, to go after your dreams and do what you want to do. And I won't lie, I was in a place where at one point you could give me all of the information, but because mentally I wasn't prepared and I wasn't ready to do what it took for me to accomplish my dreams or accomplish my goals, I wouldn't have done it. It just would not have happened because mentally my mindset wasn't where it needed to be. I tell my mentor all the time, if she would have told me over a year ago, not to do this and to do this, I would have been hard-headed and I wouldn't have listened. And I would have did what I wanted to do because I wasn't mentally ready. Like literally, y'all, when I got my mentor, I've just gotten off a long travel contract, a 6-month contract, working during the COVID crisis. And this is a woman, my mentor, I followed her for several years. And I remember reaching out to her and I loved her. I was like, I loved her personality. I love what she was doing. She was a retired nurse, like retired before retirement. And she was just living her best life. She is a real estate investor. And at the time she wasn't coaching people. I remember reaching out to her and I was like, hey, do you mentor people? And she was like, no, not at this time. And I was like, okay. And so I just signed up for her membership that she had, which is called the Nurse Real Estate Investing Club membership. And I signed up for the membership. And I just remember being around the ladies, the nurses in that membership. And so many nurses were doing so many amazing things. And I was just like, oh my God, like, wow, like, okay. And just them talking about their stories and, the deals and the businesses that they had and that they were doing. I was like, just in awe. And again, this is all during COVID. And I remember because we couldn't go outside, we started like a exercise accountability group. And so every single morning we would get up and we would do some type of exercise. You can either, you can go whatever it is that you were doing, you can do, whether it was walking or working out in your house. But those calls end up turning into like masterminds, right? They end up turning into like masterminds, and us talking about business, and her, and the other ladies that were kind of ahead of us, business wise and, mentality wise, mindset wise, it turned into some coaching sessions sometimes. What was just meant to be workout groups and a workout accountability group turned into something else. Because we started with this whole group of people, and then it became just like a core group of people that were there. And I'm telling y'all this story because I need to kind of take you back from where I was to where I am now. And so it was a core group of people that started just showing up. It was anywhere between like 8 to 10 of us that were the only ones showing up. It went from like 30 plus to maybe about 8 to 10 that showed up consistently. And I remember it was just like my break, or the way that I can get away from the reality of being in the house from COVID when I wasn't at work. And so I showed up, and I needed that accountability to work out too. And so I showed up. If I see them there, they're up, they're out of the bed, they're working out, let me get up and let me get moving. And so that turned into an investing club. That exercise group turned into an investing club. And again, y'all, I didn't have a business at the time. I had aspirations of being a business owner and starting a business, but I didn't have a business. These are women that were retired because of their business, nurses that weren't quite retired yet, but had real estate and had other businesses, and, sitting with $1 million in their retirement accounts. These women were doing some amazing things. And I was like, oh my God, like, what? And so that accountability group turned into an investing club called Wealthy Women Invest. And it literally started as an idea, and now we are a full-fledged investing club. And we basically got together, and for a few months, we were trying to kind of figure out what we were going to invest in. But once we figured that out, we paid our money in, we turned it into a real business entity. We got an operation agreement with us on there, and we put our money into a business bank account. And then we started bringing up ideas and things to actually invest in. And so we would vote on it, and, majority rules. And so we've invested in a few different things, but that was the start of like a huge shift for me. Being around those ladies was very intimidating because they were to me, it seemed light years ahead of me, like years ahead of me, business wise, and, mindset wise and personal development. But that exercise accountability group turned into an investing club and turned into a sisterhood. Like, these women are my sisters and my mentors now. And so this woman, I tell that story because this woman that I essentially looked up to and wanted her to be my mentor, that she wasn't doing mentorship or she wasn't doing coaching, but I was in her membership, the Nurse REI membership. And now I was in an investing club with her. And soon as she opened up the opportunity to be mentored by her, I still did not have a business. I was working on a business, and I was getting my first Airbnb unit up. Someone was helping me with that. I signed up for it. I looked at it for a few days, and I was like, but I don't even have a business. Will she be able to help me? Will she even want to help me? And I was like, I'm going to sign up. Like, I'm going to sign up. I told her a few years ago, I want to work with her, and I still want to work with her. And I signed up for her mentorship. Y'all, when I signed up for that mentorship, again, I didn't really have a full-fledged business. I was working on starting my credit repair business, right? because I had gone through the cycle of having good and the bad credit. And so I was working on that. I had, my domain and emails and had my website being worked on. I was training my staff. And I went and I met with her and we were talking and she let me say, whatever I was saying. And she's like, I think you need to table that credit repair business and really consider and think about just doing Airbnb full time. You need to table that credit repair. And I was like, okay, okay, okay. The first okay is kind of like, but once I got it in my system, I was just like, you know what? I'm paying her for a reason. This is a woman that I have looked up to and that I have admired for several years. And I have the opportunity to be mentored by her. I am paying her for a reason because she is living a life that I desire to live, a retired life. And even though I'm here in her house and she is technically working with us, she's not working. She is in her element doing something that she loves. And so it doesn't look like work and it doesn't feel like work, but she was still pouring into us. And so I said, you know what? I would be a fool not to listen to her. Right? I would be a fool not to listen to her. And so I listened to her. She gave me some advice. I need you to do this, 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 and this. Y'all, over half of the stuff that she told me to do, I had no idea how to do. But I sat there, got on my computer, and I started doing it. And I just asked her questions like, hey, what about this? And I'm not sure about this. And she helped troubleshoot some things for me. But I did exactly what she told me, y'all. Exactly what she told me. And I left her house. And a week, I don't even think it was a week later, I made 100K in 1 week. But I tell y'all that story to tell y'all, someone can give you all the information in the world, but if you're not mentally prepared to do the work, you're not mentally prepared to believe that you deserve what you desire, if you're not mentally prepared to listen and be obedient, it will not work for you. So it seems cliche when you go to these personal development events, or you go to these even business events and people talk about mindset. But what you don't understand is that mindset plays a huge role in your business. It plays a huge role in the success of your business. Mindset, right? Can you imagine, or I can imagine, right? Because I was both persons, right? To be the person that would not have listened. You paid someone thousands of dollars to be your mentor. They give you the play, or give you the plan, the strategy and the plan of what to do. Can you imagine not listening to them, where that would get you? Right? But I tell you that story because it's a lot of stuff that she told me that the old me, the mind, my mentality, like, woman, I have spent thousands of dollars to get this business up and running, get a domain, get my website built. I'm already onboarding staff. What do you mean don't do my business? What do you mean? Right? The old Danielle would have tried to do both things at the same time. Right? And what she told me is, you need to focus on one thing. I need you to focus on one thing. One. I need you to focus on one thing, make 7 figures doing that one thing, automate it, delegate what you can delegate, build it so it can run without you, and then move on to the next thing. And I was like, okay. But that was probably the best advice anyone has ever given me. The best advice, right? Because being a stressed out, a tired, and an overworked nurse, sometimes you get desperate. I remember praying and crying, like, God, like, I know this is not it. I know I'm supposed to be doing something else. I don't know what that something else is, but God, like, let me know what it is that you want me to do, because I know this is not it. This is not the end. And I was so desperate for something else, for change, to do something else. I knew that I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I just couldn't figure out what business I wanted to start, or what business or thing I was supposed to do, or, well, what my purpose was. I had to figure that out, right? And along the way, I've tried several different things. I've started a lot of different businesses, and I would say they were kind of successful, right? Because I would get into it, I would study it, I would be up all night learning it, and I was able to make money, but I wasn't passionate about it. It didn't feel like my purpose and what I was supposed to be doing. And so I wasn't happy. Right. And I don't want to leave a job that I'm not happy with to start a business that I'm not necessarily happy with just for money. That's not what I wanted to do. Right. Because for me, it wasn't about money. It's not about money. Right. I want to show up and do something that I love doing and help people do something that they love doing. And the money will follow. Right? So I've tried a few different things. And if you don't know what that's called, it's called bright, shiny object syndrome, where you're just like, you see this and you're like, oh, I'm going to go get a car and put it on Turo. Oh, I'm going to go invest in mobile homes and flip mobile homes and wholesale mobile homes. Or I'm going to go be a wholesaler. I'm going to be a real estate investor. You're trying to do everything because you're just desperate to get out of your current situation. And let me tell you, that desperation helped me lose 40 grand. Me just being desperate to change my current situation helped me lose 40 grand. That was a very valuable lesson, because I just wanted a way out. I just wanted a way out of my current circumstances, right? So I really had to start doing a lot of mindset work, right? And I had to learn to surrender, because I would pray, but I wouldn't give myself the time to hear and to listen. And I found what works for me. It's me going near water, right? Me kind of clearing the clutter in my brain, to even hear the answer of what I was supposed to be doing, or where I was supposed to be going, and who I was supposed to be doing it with. And guys, everybody may not believe in God or believe in a higher being, but I do. Right? So if you don't and that offends you, I apologize. Please unsubscribe to the channel and leave. But I believe in a higher power and a higher being, right? And so that is not tied to any religion, right? But I believe that there's a higher power. There's a higher power within us as well, right? And I had to tap into that. Right. And so me going to water basically gave me a lot of clarity. I started to hear, like, clearly, clearly. And I was like, okay. But as adults, because when you're a baby, you don't have a concept of fear. You don't have a concept of fear. That is a learned reaction. That is a learned reaction from different experiences that you go through, or you see someone go through, or basically something that someone can kind of pass along to you. Fear is a learned behavior and a learned reaction. That's what fear is. Because when you're a baby, you're fearless. You don't know if I touch this stove, it's going to burn my hand, it's going to hurt not to touch the stove. You explore when you're a baby. You're going to do any and everything, right? When you're a baby, because you don't have this concept of fear. It doesn't exist, right? You learn that as you get older. So I'm like, the older you get, the worse it becomes, right? And sometimes fear, you can feel like it's like this safety thing. You're trying to save yourself because you're putting yourself in some uncomfortable situations, right? But fear can literally freeze us in our tracks and stop you from doing what you're meant to do because you're scared and you've never been down that road. You're like, well, I'm not going to go because I don't know what's going to happen if I go. What if it's goodness, nothing but goodness on the other side of that? But you didn't go because you were scared. You were fearful, right? I do a lot, even still to this day, scared shitless, y'all. Scared. Even now, today, I'm scared, sometimes. And I'm like, I don't know. I don't know, but I'm going to do it. I'm just going to do it. Right? When I made the decision to not go back to work and retire, that wasn't a decision only for me. I prayed and I got an answer, like a clear answer, like, let it go. Let it go. Yeah, I was scared. I had written up my quit day letter and I had it in my email draft for like 2 years because I knew at some point I was going to turn that sucker in, but I was still scared. Even after I got the answer, I was like, oh shit, like, okay. It took me like 2 days to send that email and I finally sent it and I was a nervous wreck, like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Like, okay, I really just did it. I did it. And even when I came home, it was so many people around me that was so worried and concerned that I didn't have a job. And they were like, oh, this place is hiring and this place is hiring. And I was like, okay, I'm okay. I don't need to go get a job right now. And I remember because of that pressure, I applied for some jobs, went on an interview, actually got offered a job that I did not want. And somewhere in my mind, I was trying to rationalize why I was taking it until I was driving to get a physical. And I had to remember that what was told to me, what God said to me. And I had to tell myself, like, are you saying that God's promise to you is not enough? Do you not trust God to deliver on the promise to you? Why are you going to this job when God said, let it go? So I had to stop my car and I turned around and I headed back home. And I remember calling one of my friends and crying. And as I was driving home, I got a call from a property manager to reserve units in a new building that they were building. Right? So as much as I did stuff scared, I had faith. I believed. I was obedient. The goals and the dreams that I wrote down mentally in here, I believed that I deserved it. A lot of times we write down goals. We write down our dreams so we can turn them into goals. Right? We have these New Year's resolutions that we write down. But somewhere deep inside, even though we write it down and we say, oh yeah, girl, I want to lose 20 pounds. Somewhere deep inside of us, we don't believe. You don't believe that you can lose the 20 pounds. You don't have faith that you can lose the 20 pounds. You don't have faith that you can become a millionaire. You don't believe that you can actually become a millionaire. You don't believe that you can retire early. You don't have the faith. You're saying it, you're writing it down, but you don't believe. So you're putting you're saying it to the universe, but subconsciously and consciously, You don't even believe you deserve it. So you're sending out these mixed signals and confusion. So the universe is not going to give it to you. You're saying, yeah, girl, I want to lose 20 pounds, but you're not working out. You're not eating better. You're eating like crap. But you're saying you want to lose 20 pounds. You're saying it, but you obviously don't believe it, because you wouldn't be doing those things if you wanted to lose 20 pounds. You're saying that you want to be a millionaire, right? You want to leave your job. You want to be able to give back to your community. You want to start a business where you can employ other people. You're saying that, but you're not doing anything to get there. Faith without works is dead. Whatever it is that you want and you desire, it is already yours for the taking. It's yours. But you got to start. You got to start somewhere. You have to start. Right? It is not your job to worry about how stuff is going to happen. You just have to start. If you believe and you have faith and you know that you can do it and that it is yours, you just got to start. You got to start. The opportunities, the people, the places, the tables, the conversations about you that you're not even in yet will already be taking place. It will already be lining up for you, but you have to start. You got to get beyond saying it and writing it down. When I got to the place where I knew this is what I want to do, I want 10, right? It was a time where I wrote down on my mirror every single day in my hotel room when I was on assignment in California. Every day I looked at Post-it notes. I have 10 Airbnb units. I've lost 15 pounds. I did Post-its. Every day I woke up, I was brushing my teeth, doing my little, putting the moisturizer on my face. I had them Post-its that I looked at. But before I got out of bed, I started, when I was in California, I had to develop a routine. Before I got out of bed, I showed gratitude. Show gratitude. Looked immediately at my affirmations. Every morning, I read these out loud before I even got out of the bed. I prayed. I meditated. Y'all, I didn't know how to meditate. I figured it out, right? What felt natural to me, to quiet my space, to quiet my environment, to quiet my mind, to hear. Then I got prepared for my day. But I saw my Post-its up on that board. Up on that board. Want to show y'all. Still got some of my Post-its. I keep them on my desk. Keep them on my desk, y'all. Right? Every day I looked at those Post-its. Every day I was reminding myself about my goals. I was taking actions towards accomplishing my goals. Okay, you want to lose 15 pounds. Y'all, I was on an accountability group when I was in California. The accountability group met at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. What time is that in Cali? It was 5 a.m. I am a night owl by nature. So I'm up at night working. My mind that is my time. That is when I function the best at night. So 5 a.m., it didn't matter what time I went to sleep, I got up every day at 5 a.m. and got on those accountability calls, because that is what fed my soul for the day. That is what fed my mind for the day. That is what fed me spiritually for the day. And I would also work out. If I'm getting up at 5 a.m. and I know that I have a goal that I want to get down 15 pounds, and guess what? I did it too. And if I know I want to get down 15 pounds, I'm going to utilize that time to the best of my ability. Right? So I got up at 5 a.m. on the accountability call. I went to that gym in that hotel and I worked out. And I actually too got me a trainer. And so I would meet with her 2 or 3 times a week via FaceTime, and she would train me virtually. Right? Because I had a goal. I'm losing 15 pounds. So I had to do what I needed to do to feed myself mentally and spiritually and get my mind right and prepare for the day. Right? I mentally had to get myself together. So I had to work on myself, on my mindset. I started reading books to help me do that as well. Right? It has to be a click. Right? Not only you saying that you want something, but start taking steps and actions to get what you say that you want. So you have to work on your mindset. Don't be out here wasting your money because mentally you're not there. Right? Mentally you're not there. You're saying it, but it's something in you that don't even believe that you can do it or you deserve it. So you're not taking the steps and doing what you need to do to get the goal, to even accomplish the goal. So mindset is a huge thing. But in order to address the mindset and address fear, you got to address both of them at the same time. When I spent my time in California for 6 months, I had an opportunity to just be alone, just me, without my family. I had a lot of time to really analyze some unhealthy things that I had learned and I felt were true. And, it was like, oh, I've always been that way. Doesn't mean that it's right. Doesn't mean that is how you keep going about your life because you've always been that way. I had to really deal with some traumas and some wounds that I needed to heal while I was in California, right? My relationship with money. I had to address that, right? Because if you can't be trusted with 10,000, why you think you're gonna get 1 million? I had to address that, my relationship with money, right? I had to address a lot of things, but I had to really sit and self-evaluate myself and really be like, Danielle, like, that ain't, why you say that or why you do that? Like, that is, let's identify and let's heal that, right? So when you're starting your business, mindset will always come up because it plays a huge role, a huge role, a huge role. And 2, what is going on inside of your household spills over into your business. So it has to be addressed, because you can't go back to a house that is in chaos and you think that is not going to spill over into your business, because it's only a matter of time before it will. So you have to work on your mindset. Some books that have helped me. Let me see if I have a paper copy. I love audiobooks, y'all, because I can just listen to them while I'm driving. Literally, I have a box full of books. But Think and Grow Rich, The Richest Man in Babylon is one of my favorites. Some of my favorites, and I reread them over. But Think and Grow Rich, Richest Man in Babylon, We Should All Be Millionaires, The 4-Hour Work Week, definitely some of my favorites that you can start with. And 2, Rich Dad Poor Dad is, really, really like the mindset piece. Some people say they don't like the book, but it really helps with the mindset part. Rich Dad, Poor Dad. But those are some great books that you can pick up. I'll put like some links below that you can grab the books from Amazon or something, either the physical book or the audio book. I love audiobooks because I can just turn them on while I'm driving and, just listen. So definitely have to work on that mindset when you're starting your business, guys. It's so imperative when you're starting a business and you want to be successful that you work on that mindset piece. I don't know how many times I've heard people say, oh, well, you don't have to pay for that, or you don't have to pay for this. I paid a few grand to learn from one of the top coaches in the Airbnb industry. Paid some very significant money to my mentor, but I can tell you that the return on my investment has always been way more than I paid, way more than I paid. So it has definitely been worth it, and it has helped me get to the next level, right? Sometimes what is holding you back is what you don't know. And who know what you don't know? It's mentors. If you're thinking about and considering a mentor, just watch them. Watch them, get some of their freebies, get some of their low-cost items before you pay someone thousands of dollars. And again, also look at the receipts, not only what they have been able to do, but who have they been able to help, right? Because I tell people all the time, a hustler can go out and make 100 grand or high six figures, or even $1 million if you got a good hustle about yourself, right? But can you duplicate what you did? Can you take what you did, teach it to somebody else, and they can do the same thing? Right? So when you're thinking about a mentor, your mentor should have a mentor and or a coach. And the good ones got more than one. Right? They got more than one. That's just the truth. Right? Before you go and spend thousands of dollars on a mentor or a coach, watch them, get to know them. Pick up some of the items that they have for free or for low cost. If they have a YouTube channel, watch them on YouTube, watch their social, but then look for the receipts from their students, receipts and testimonials from their students, okay? Because they can take what they were able to do and give it to somebody else and they have the same success or even better success. That says a lot, right? That says a lot. All right, guys, until next time, make sure you subscribe, turn on them notifications, share this channel with anybody else that wants to get into business and get into the Airbnb industry. Every Friday, starting in September, I'll be going live, okay? Until next time, guys.